The first sprint finish of the Tour, and it was hectic with bends, roundabouts, and relegation controversy. This was stage 3 from amorebieta-etxano to Bayonne, and it's got a few lumps and bumps, but the last categorized climb was with like 90 k's to go. So would it be a day for the sprinters uncontested, the likes of Alpecin and Quickstep? It's a day certainly that the GC teams wouldn't be looking forward to too much. Jonas Vingegaard lining up to start the race, despite Belgian media presumably asking for him to be sent home for not helping Van Aert yesterday. And the breakaway was one of two riders. Paulus going for just the KOM points in the first half, and Laurent Pichon, who was good in Roubaix last year. The Portuguese club of Costa and Oliveira talking. Lafay jumped out to take some intermediate sprint points, so he would keep the jersey no matter who won the stage, which was smart of him. He took 15 for third, and then Pedersen was the best of the bunch once again in that sprint. So pretty chill day for the first half of the stage, with the break no danger after the last categorized climb here. Paulus celebrated and said, "Goodbye, Pichon. You can take the combativity. I'm going to chill and go back into the peloton." And so, yeah, we went through San Sebastian. It was pretty picturesque. Then back up north to France. Pichon, the first rider to enter France, with Jayco and Alpecin and Quickstep predictably being the teams to control the one-man escapade. But then with 50 k's to go, a lot of road furniture in this finish up the coast, and all the GC teams actually came to the front. UAE, Ineos, Bora for Hindley, Bahrain, FDJ, Jumbo. Lotto actually the only non-GC team who presented this early for Ewan, and it was hectic, honestly, for the rest of this stage. Luckily, no huge crashes or mass pile-ups or GC riders losing time, because there was roundabout after roundabout after roundabout, speed bumps, dividers, a U-turn in the last 2 kilometers. We'll get to the bend in the finish. Very, very nervous peloton. Jumbo-Visma mainly took up one side of the road, Quickstep on the other. UAE at about 25 k's to go just gave up, trying to fight for position at the front, and Pogačar sort of surfed at the back with Yates and the rest of the teammates not in the melee at the front. So two different strategies, or maybe UAE didn't really have a choice, but it didn't matter either way. But you see the road furniture coming up. It just appears you can't see those bollards because they're about knee or waist height. Could Cav break the record with Astana as they went into Bayonne? And here came the proper final. Van Aert and Laporte moved up to join the Van Baarle Van Hooijdonk protection squad for Vingegaard. On the right side, Quickstep were looking very, very good with a full complement of riders just about. Ineos moved up with Kwiato. I'm not sure if he was trying to sort of escape through the roundabout. I didn't really, because the other Ineos riders weren't there. But it was Quickstep who dominated this phase of the race. With, you see Lampard here, he swings across the Uno X train because there's a roundabout and it thins as well coming up. And he wants to be first. And the Quickstep riders also fan out. With Asgreen, Merku, and Jakobsen, they don't all get in a line. They fan out so that no one can move up through this roundabout section. So a pretty common tactic. And Lampard, this also means that Lampard and Asgreen can go deeper into this sprint final by being able to freewheel longer. He's getting a little bit of recovery here where no one can move up because the team has essentially blocked the road, and because it's so single file, he basically is fighting against Bilbao for front position, and he's going to beat Bilbao. Van der Poel's kind of on his own, detached from Alpecin. Vingegaard's just, we've passed the 3 kilometer rule, 3 kilometer banner so far, but he's still sprinting or changing, and Groeneweggen's sprinting to get onto Mezget's wheel and the Jayco train. Groenewegen said he was kind of done before the sprint. Bahrain did a magnificent job actually with Bilbao and Arndt for Bauhaus, who got a good result in this stage. You see Quickstep still dominating the front, but Alpecin have got numbers deeper, and they've still not found Van der Poel. Trek, not many numbers for, maybe they should have brought Edward Turns for Mads Pedersen to help out with the lead-outs in this race. And still with that U-turn at 2 k's to go, now Merku's thinking, it's still too early for Asgreen to probably go on the front, because usually it goes, when Asgreen, Ballerini, Merku in 2021 when they won loads of sprints with Cavendish. And so now Asgreen starts at 1.7 k's to go, but he's only got his last man after him, and he can't do 1,500 meters or 1,300 meters. And so when Petit jumps up this little rise, Ricard gets onto the back of it and does a big lead out to move Alpecin up. But Merku decides, and Jakobsen has already slid back onto Van Aert's wheel, Merku decides, I got to let Asgreen's wheel go here because we're running out of numbers quickly. It's very, very smart from him, but the problem was Petit couldn't close it and keep the speed high. And so with Petit dying on his run, Ricard moves up on the right here very, very quickly for Alpes and Phoenix with Van der Poel and Philipsen in his pocket. It's Laporte, Van Aert behind Biniam and Petit, and they kind of get waved over, Quickstep and Jumbo, by this Alpecin lead out because Petit died on his run. So perfect timing from Alpecin. Now, Ricard also, Azarin's kind of waving about at the front, and Ricard dives the other side of him, nearly causes a mass. This is what I mean. Like, there could have been a huge crash in this stage with all the bends and everything. We're kind of lucky there wasn't. Van der Poel then begins the lead out with about 500 to go for Philipsen, does nearly a 20-second pull. We see Van Aert switched onto Philipsen's wheel. Bauhaus, watch him, by the way. Incredible the way he slides through gaps and manages to sort of still hold Van Aert's wheel and get the best run for the best of the rest. But then Philipsen, through this S-bend, Van der Poel finishes his pull, probably about 2:25 to go, and we'll see it better in the overhead. Philipsen jumps, takes the shortest line through the S-bend, but then keeps going to the barriers rather than going straight. Wins the stage. Van Aert's had to stop his sprint, but he wasn't so sure afterwards as his partner showed him the replay on her phone, and then he's seeing the overhead, and here it is. Van Aert launches here because he's trying to jump the inside, the open space to get the quickest line through that bend, and there's space there. And Philipsen starts his sprint a little bit later. Starts about here, he's launched, he looks down, he sees Van Aert is coming, and he, with them basically remaining about this position level, neither gaining too much on the other, he then sprints towards the white dash line and the barriers, although there is a bend coming up. And you see here, in fact, and this was obscured a little bit, Van Aert actually, and he said afterwards, he has to put his elbow out to stop Philipsen pushing him all the way into the barriers. And Philipsen said, through the bend, I'm going my fastest line, but then the fastest line here is the dashed line. You stay straight and you actually open the space back up because the bend is finished now, and that's the fastest line, going outside apex and then straightening up. But he actually goes back towards the barriers so hard that he almost crashes himself because I think he was trying to stop Wout coming up the inside. And there was a long time of deliberation, with Pogacar coming over to congratulate his former teammate, but Philipsen, with the time elapsing, becoming more and more unsure, saying, I was trying to go the quickest line through the S-bend. And then another sort of shot shows, they're watching a video because it's on landscape here, I went through like this, so pretty amazing scenes, and that's a great photo from Pauline Ballet. What do you think down below? Should it have been a relegation? I mean, it doesn't matter for Van Aert because Bauhaus is the winner if Philipsen gets relegated. He even gets called to the principal's office, which is never a good sign, and the tension builds among the spectators, but eventually he emerges with the win intact. I think the bend saved him. The rules are so unclear, the enforcement is so inconsistent, and then when you add bends into the mix and he's going towards the apex, the commissaires just